This is Kamera again. We're on day number 72 with Joshua 9 to 11. That's Joshua 9, 10, and 11. Yesterday we read where the children of Israel had battle with Jericho. Well, they destroyed Jericho. They destroyed Ai. And the last thing we read was Joshua reading off the promises, the blessings and the curses, and the commands that Moses had written, and he was reading those in the presence of all the people of Israel. Oh, also foreigners who were there as well. So now everyone heard in the surrounding towns, villages, countries, they heard what had happened with the other kings, how the children of Israel and Joshua had gone and destroyed those other two nations. And so now they're scared. They're joining forces. I mean, they're coming together. Those other towns, they're coming together, trying to find a way to defeat Joshua and the people of Israel. So there's this one nation, the Gibeonites. The Gibeonites are like, let's try something different. We see that they're winning these battles, and we're not ready to die, basically. Because when you think about what they did, those boys were desperate. They went, they conspired. We're going to send some ambassadors to speak up for us. We're going to send them with old, worn out, dirty clothes, sandals all patched up, wineskins all torn and patched up, day-old bread all moldy and stale. And so we're going to send them there, and we're going to see if we can come up with a treaty. So they meet up with Joshua and the people of Israel. And they're like, we come from a long, very long, far away. And we heard about everything that you're doing, how God is with you guys and destroying everybody, burning down cities and all. And so they're like, well, can we have a treaty that you guys won't destroy us, that we actually have peace between us? And so Joshua was like, we can't do that if you are very close. If you're near us, we have to destroy you. They're like, no, we come from a long ways. Let's make this treaty. So guess what happens? They're like, okay, also they're like, you see, this is proof that we come from far away. This is proof. Our clothes are worn. They were pretty much new when we put them on. This bread was just out of the oven when we started our battle. These wineskins were brand new when we started our journey. Now look at, they're all worn out. And so Joshua them again, they went ahead and they made this treaty with these people, convinced that these people were telling the truth. And so they heard that the guys, Gibeon wasn't far. These people they are actually in the vicinity of where we need to destroy them. And so they sent out their spy. They discovered they lied. They were deceived, and now they're in a treaty. And so the people of Israel are upset, and they're like, Joshua, like, well, you know what? It was an oath under God. And get this, the Bible points out, they did not pray. One of the things God told them to not do, and that was make a treaty with any of those people. They made a treaty with those people because they believed them on their word. They had not consulted the Lord about this treaty. Yeah. So now Joshua finds out the truth, and Joshua like, because you guys did this, from this point on, forever, basically, you guys are going to be responsible for cutting our wood and bringing water to the altar for the Lord. That's what your job is going to be from this thing on. And the Bible says it's actually continue even to now. And so the surrounding kings actually heard what Gibeon did. Gibeon, they're all scared, and they just, they went in and made a treaty with Joshua. We need to kill them. So you got like 5 kings want to go against Gibeonites. Gibeonites contacted Joshua like, please help us out. We're friends now. We need your help with these other kings. So what does Joshua and the people of Israel do? They ride all night and surprise those other kings, and they kill every last one of those areas. All the people in all the areas, the different villages, the different towns, just totally destroy them and burn all this. There were no survivors, none. The kings, however, escaped. They escaped. And so when Joshua found out that they had escaped to the caves, he instructed that the children of Israel, whoever, just seal that cave. We'll be back for them. They are not getting off. So after they destroyed and slaughtered everyone, there were no survivors. After they destroyed everyone, they went back to the cave and gathered those 5 kings, and they killed them. And once they killed them, then they threw them back in the cave and just put some rocks, and sealed them up. And I hear that those rocks, those stones are there right now, sealing that cave right now today. And so after that, it's like Joshua was on a killing spree. I mean, they went from town to town, north, south, east, everywhere around Canaan, and just destroyed everyone, leaving no survivors, as God had said. No survivors. They went they went from town to town, just slaughtering and killing and destroying. Some areas they were allowed to keep the plunder, but they didn't stop until it was all done as God had said. Remember, this is the promised land, and God had already given those lands to the children of Israel. And you might ask, wow, these are people of God and they're killing? Number one, God owns everything. Everything on this land is God's. He is the one true God. Remember back in the day, when Solomon, when the children of Israel, the people, okay, buddy, give me a minute. When the people got wicked, how God destroyed the entire world. Well, God didn't destroy these wicked people that route. He actually used Joshua and the children of Israel to destroy those people. Those people were serving other gods. They were doing wicked things, and God had to clean them. You have to understand, God was available for everyone on the earth, everyone. But then those areas were serving other gods, worshiping other gods, doing detestable things, and it's instead of destroying them by flood, fire, or what have you. He sent Joshua to destroy them, Joshua and the children of Israel. Another thing I forgot to mention, when God had helped the children of the Gibeonites, when Joshua had went to help them, God assisted with that. He had just sent hailstones down and assisted in that battle. And the Bible says that there were more people who died from the hailstones than through Joshua. So look at that. God is even helping even from heavens. But yeah. So Joshua's mission was to do God's work, and his work was to clear out that land for his promised people. And for his people, he promised them that land. So yeah, those people were, God can give you whatever he wants to give you. It's all his anyway. And unfortunately, they had to be death in this case because they were doing detestable things. They were serving idols, and he was cleaning that land. And so, yeah, so there you have it. And so after battling all of those territories, they claimed all those lands that God had promised them, every piece of it. And he says, then they were at rest. That's what it says. After they had gone through and took over all the territories, there was rest after the war. So what can we get? What can we gain out of this? What is it that we need to learn from this? First of all, number one, we live this life as if God does not exist. Clearly, those other kings in Canaan, Jebusite, Hivites, Ammonite, all them felt that they could live their life the way they want to. There comes a time when God says enough is enough. And so he sent his people to destroy them. In our case, there are other things that God allows to happen to us when he says enough is enough. So when people say that God will never let this happen, I tell them, I say, y'all need to read the word. God will allow certain things to happen for a certain reason. Even if we don't understand, he knows what he's doing. And don't ever think that something is too hard for you to get. If God said you're going to get it, you're going to get it. You don't have to go in there and shoot up the place for it, but he will move out those enemies for you. And he will do whatever it takes to give you what he says he's going to give you. Now, was it easy for the children of Israel to do what they had to do? No, it wasn't. They had to battle. They had to keep clean. Remember in the last books we read, when they were soiled, when they were dirty, when they were defiled, God said, I couldn't be amongst that. And every battle, the children of Israel, they won except for that one battle. And that's because they were unclean. Will God fight all of our battles for us? Will he give us things that we think are unattainable? Yes, he will. He did it for the children of Israel, and they had to keep clean. They had to keep clean. They couldn't have anything undefiled. They had to keep clean. It was not easy. They had to put forth an effort. So we can't expect for us, I'm going to sit here, I'm a good Christian, I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and not put forth work. We have to put forth that work. But the thing is, you're going to win in the end. Okay, he is going to grant you favor through that process. And it's not going to be as bad as one would think. But during that process, he wants us to learn. During this process here, he wanted the children of Israel to see that he is with them. Just like he told them, as long as you guys are obedient to me and you're following my commands, I would definitely make sure your enemies are defeated. They defeated all of their enemies. Just like our enemies, we have enemies. God is going to defeat all those enemies. People will slander your name. Don't even worry about all that. God's got them. God's got them. So, yeah, there's a lot to be learned here. A lot to be learned here. We just have to ask God for wisdom, knowledge, understanding, help us to accept, and understand why he allowed certain things. And so, yeah, that's Joshua 9 through 11. And that's day number 72. So enjoy the word, and be blessed, guys. Be blessed. You have a blessed day, okay?